Hello everybody. This is a video explaining how to calculate limiting reactant problems. And I have an example problem here. We have the balanced equation. If you want to react 2.28 moles of oxygen with 0.434 moles of glucose, how many moles of carbon dioxide will be formed? So in this particular case, in reality, when you are performing a reaction, usually you're going to run out of one of the reactants. So for example, if you are making a ham and cheese sandwich, once you run out of ham, you can't make any more sandwiches. It doesn't matter how much bread you have. It doesn't matter how much cheese you have. If you run out of ham, you cannot make ham and cheese sandwiches anymore. So chances are we are going to run out of one of these two things first. So here's how we figure out which one we run out of first. I'm going to start out with oxygen. If I have 2.28 moles of oxygen, I want to find out how many moles of, I'm just going to pick one of my products. It doesn't really matter which one, so I'm going to pick water, okay? So if I have this many moles of oxygen, how many moles of water can I make? I want to go from moles of one thing to moles of another thing. You should remember that means I need to use the mole ratio from the balanced equation. So I go up to my balanced equation. I'm going to find out that in my balanced equation, I need 6 moles of O2. Those cancel out. And I'm going to produce 6 moles of water. So 6 and 6 cancel out, and I find out that I am going to produce 2.28 moles of water, which is exactly what I started with. That shouldn't really surprise you because I have the same number of moles of oxygen and the same number of moles of water. So however much oxygen I have, I'm going to make the same amount of water. Let's do the same thing again, but in this case, they gave me moles of glucose, so let's find out how much I can make with the glucose. I'm going to copy down my given from the equation, 0.434 moles of glucose. By the way, glucose is C6H12O6. That's one of the molecules that you should either write down and label or memorize. Healthcare people, memorize this one. Okay. 0.434 moles of glucose, and I'm going to choose the same product that I did my first problem with. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, just use the same one throughout. I go to my balanced equation and I have 1 mole of glucose in my balanced equation, and I have 6 moles of water in my balanced equation. Moles of glucose cancel out. The only thing I have left is moles of water. That's what I'm looking for. This time I have to get my calculator. 0.434 times 6 equals 2.604 moles of water. Now I'm going to compare these two answers. Which one is smaller? This one. 2.28 is smaller than 2.60. So once I have made 2.28 moles of water, then I run out of oxygen. I'm still going to have glucose left over, but it doesn't matter because once I run out of oxygen, I cannot make any more water. And therefore, okay, those 3 dots mean therefore. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and write this out, okay? This is much greater detail than you will need to write on your answers, but I'm going to just go that extra mile. I have enough O2 to make 2.28 mole of H2. I have enough, those 2 little lines underneath, like little quotation marks. All right, that just means copy what I have above. I have enough C6H12O6, this is glucose, to make 2.604 mole of water. Therefore, oxygen is the limiting reactant because I will run out of oxygen first. That is more detailed than you need to write for your answers. Okay? For your answers, what I'm looking for is, I do want to see your math, and then I want to see you write something like O2 is limiting reactant. Okay? That's all you are going to need to write, but I did want to go through the full detail. AP Chemistry students, you might need to write all of this if they are asking you to explain. If they are merely asking you to calculate, then your work in this will be fine. Otherwise, you will need to write out the full answer, something like I did. On-level honors students, all you need to do, show your work and write that O2 is the limiting reactant in this case. Thank you.